Hello, everyone, and welcome back to That Yearbook Podcast with those yearbook people, Sabrina.
That'd be us, yes.
That's right. And we are here for season 3, episode 10.
10.
This is the grand finale of this season. We're so excited.
How did we do it?
How did it happen so
How
fast?
did it happen? We've been busy little yearbook people.
We have. Jim just got back from Alaska, his grand tour of
yes.
Alaska, which looked amazing.
It
Super
did.
jealous.
And I've got to say, we're going to get some good books out of Alaska.
That's right.
And we were talking about theme all the time up there. And
amazing.
So we're in the middle of theme season almost again.
That's the truth. That's all I've been talking about lately too. Like all over. Just theme trends. But that's kind of the fun part of the year, you know, like this is to me, it's always like the clean slate. It was always the scariest time of year because like we got to start all over and we don't know what to do. But also to me, the most fun time because like anything is possible. Like anything that drove you nuts about last year's book, you can put away and then know that you can start completely fresh and with a brand new idea. And that's always exciting. I think that's great.
Yeah, I never cease to be amazed. You know, you literally fall in love with your theme, and then you have to send it off to college or whatever, and you have to find a new one to work with. And as you develop it and talk about it, it becomes just another love of what you've done. So, you know,
like you're about to be a theme empty nester right now, just for a little bit.
But
then the next one will come.
although I do want to emphasize, you know, you don't have to pick your theme and have it all totally fit and figured out before the end of the year. It's a process.
Please don't.
And as we say, you know, you don't have to marry your theme until August, maybe.
Yeah, we'll tell you when it's time to get hitched, but it ain't now. Like that, it's not yet. Like I think that's when people have I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes like there is a theme, you have it, you know it's the one. Great, it's love at first sight. I love that. That definitely can happen, but it is rare. You know, normally it's like we've got to start thinking about our story. We got to start thinking about what we want to do that's different from last year so we don't make the same book. You know, there's all these things to consider and it takes time to kind of mess around with that. So now's a good time to start talking theme, you know, chatting about it, having these conversations, coming up with ideas, but no need to get married to it yet.
But you want to get on the path and you want to know where you're going.
Yes, exactly. So we actually just made a new training video for you all on how to be theme rich, which was a Jimothy coined phrase that I love because it's so true. Like when you think about theme, you want your theme to be full and to feel, and there are like, I know like Jim and I look at a lot of books throughout the year and there are ones that feel theme light and there are ones that feel theme rich, theme full, theme heavy, you know, and you can see and tell those differences. And so we made this training video to kind of go through like what makes a theme rich book theme rich? Where are we seeing the theme pop up in those books that is making it feel so full instead of theme light?
And it really a rich theme starts with great words, you know, and so you got to get out there and start looking for phrases. And lately I've been pretty amazed at you can find some really great phrases and, you know, even sentences that you could use. So get out there and get a whole bunch of them and see which ones kind of fit your vibe. But you're starting with words, but really the most important part, that first step is what, Sabrina?
The story.
The story.
The story. It's all about the story. Like it's got to start with the story. And that's like, that is, I mean, we can talk a little bit about why themes fail sometimes, like why they don't, like maybe they start good at the outset, but they start to fall apart, like, you know, a little bit into the book. And it's really, it goes back to there wasn't a story there. No. And that's why when we see some themes that are really based on like pop culture things, you know what I mean? Like trends and fads and stuff like that. They don't have the legs to go the
No,
distance because there's no story there, right? Like we
right.
need something that's got some meat and potatoes to it. So it's heavy, it's thick.
Well, you are full of metaphors today. Legs to go, meat and potatoes. you,
It's just
wow, you must have been out
overflowing.
running this weekend or
I
something.
have. I'm hungry.
So it's not just a slogan. It's a story. And the place you start, and this is kind of new. I think we've said it before, but we haven't really, you know, pushed it, emphasized it the way, is you have to do a pitch. You have to write a theme pitch. And we're going to provide for you a list of questions that you can go through as you're developing that theme pitch. And this is one, I mean, you type it up. It's not just in your head. Oh, yeah, I remember. No, it's got to be there that you can go back to. For me, it was like the touchstone of what we're trying to do. It happened time and time again. It was August, and we were so excited about our theme. We loved it. It was fantastic. Then we got into the training phase, and then we got back into developing the book. And I'd say, explain to me what our theme is. And they would go, they'd get that deer in the headlights
Dear,
look.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know. And that's when I should have said, well, let's go back to our theme pitch and remind ourselves what
Mm,
this theme is all about.
yep.
So you're going to write this down. You're going to do it in camp at the latest, but we want to see them written.
Yep, we want to see that clear theme story. You've got it identified. That's a big one. And we're really talking about like that just because you like a theme doesn't mean it actually works. Those are two really different things. But one of the non-negotiables of a good theme is that clear story. Another one is that the verbal and visuals work together.
Yeah.
And really that those are your like storytelling vehicles. Like you have your story and then you use words and visuals to help tell that story to your audience.
And we talk about playing with your verbal and your visual. You're going to play with it. You're going to test it out. You're going to create some stuff before you make that final decision. And again, we're not making that final decision before school's out.
No, no marriages yet. It's too early. You're too
We're going
young.
to do a
Give
lot of
it
dating.
time.
We're going to do a lot of
Yes,
chatting. We're going to do a lot
that's
of
right. A lot of
texting.
talking, a lot of texting. Yep, that's right. That's right. But that's it. This is one of the like first facets. Like if a theme falls apart fast, it's usually because the verbals and the visuals don't match, not just in more so than anything in personality, right? Like you've got a verbal theme phrase that has a specific personality. Maybe it's moody, maybe it's, quiet, maybe it's elegant, but you've got visuals that you somehow got attached to somewhere along the way and can't let go of. And they're bright and they're fun and they're vibrant and they're kooky and they're crazy. And those things just don't go together. So that's where we say like your verbal and your visuals really have to marry to tell the same story. And that's why it's easier always to get your words first. You figure out what your story is, you figure out those words, and then you find visuals that support it. Not just because we like something or we think it's cool and trendy, but because it actually supports our storytelling.
Yeah, and I'm really firm on this. You start with your words. You don't start with the look.
Mm-mm.
You got to get your words and your story, and then you integrate your look into that. That's really important.
Mhm.
And if these two, if it doesn't come together, it just is going to be awkward and not really work the way that you want it to do.
Mhm.
So, and the question comes up, what actually drives your book more, the words or the look? And you
Mhm.
really can't, what's more important? You really can't say. They're both equally
Tomato, tomato.
symbiotic and have to come
Yes.
together. Yeah.
Exactly. They really do. They work as one unit. That's just why they have to go together so well. And it's one of my the funniest things that happens when you're working with a school and you ask them, what's your theme? And they say, we're using gradients. Cool. That's not your theme though. Like,
Sorry.
what's your theme? Oh, we're working with, triangles or whatever. Like, great, but that's not your theme. That is a look. we want the story, and then maybe that look supports that story, or maybe it doesn't. But we got to start with those words first, and we
Yeah,
all go together.
and this is why if you have a theme, like this, like Spotify or
Netflix.
Netflix, those aren't a story. I mean, what's
Mm-mm.
my Netflix story? It doesn't turn into a phrase. It doesn't turn into a story.
Those are
It can be
products.
it can be a vibe. It can
Hmm.
be something about look and see and hear, that kind of stuff. But it's gonna be difficult to take it very far.
Right. Exactly.
So so what was our first non-negotiable?
Story,
Okay,
and
second
then
one,
verbal, visual.
verbal, visual, and
Yep.
now
It
does it
works
work everywhere?
everywhere.
Number
And that's a
three.
great, what you just said was a great segue into that. Like those other types of themes that are like, that aren't themes, that are like products like Spotify, Netflix, some of the, some of those types of things that we see out there. It's fine, but it's not going to work everywhere. It might visually work everywhere, but verbally, it is not going to work everywhere because there's not a story to it. So that is one of the big questions. Can it go cover to cover? Can I see it in mods, in storytelling packages, in profiles, in headlines, in coverage, and maybe even how I organize the book, like how I set up my sections? Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't work in all of those facets, or are we just looking at it going like, I see a look here and I can carry that look throughout? That's theme light. you know we want theme rich, where we
that's
get
right.
all of those places.
And probably over my 400-year career in yearbook,
Yes, dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah, yeah, right. This is the problem over all that time is you have theme light that's just in the opening and the cover, and
Mhm.
then it dies from there.
Yep.
And it's so much easier to put the book together if you're always thinking about, okay, how can I bring it out in the opening, the dividers, the mods, just all those things that you said into the sports section, into the closing, into the colophon, on the back lid, everywhere. Where can it go? And really, it's a mindset
Hmm.
that if you get that idea, it's going to all fall into place. Too often we just forgot, like we didn't keep our
Hmm.
pitch and remind ourselves what we were doing.
Right.
If you remind your designers, it's going to all come together pretty easily,
Yeah.
actually.
And I think this is a good opportunity to flesh this stuff out early. Like, so when you're planning your theme, when we talk about like testing your theme out and whatnot, this is a good time to like think through all of those areas and see if you can visualize a way that this is all going to carry out in all those areas. Your reference, your sports section, your portrait pages, your headlines, your mods, your spread topics, all of those things. And if you start to see like, we can get this far, but we have no idea how to apply theme here, maybe that's not your theme. Maybe that's not the one. I think it doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out up front in order for a theme to work. But what I often see, what I was probably just as guilty of, was we would have a theme, we would have a story, we would figure out how it would work in our openings and maybe like student life, and then we would just figure the rest out as we went along. And sometimes by the time you're too far into development, that's why it falls apart, is because you don't have time to really dig in and think through stuff. You're just looking to get things done. So while you have the time now, really plan out how that theme is going to attach in all of those different places. And if it's working, great. Then you might
That's
be
right.
onto something. Yep.
Absolutely. Non-negotiable number four, can it be used in your coverage? Can it help drive your coverage? Is it flexible? And again, we've mentioned this before, but in your headlines, in your captions, all your secondary coverage, does it have, you know, width and depth? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not just kind of cutesy overdone, but it really all comes together.
Yeah.
So,
There was
um,
we had a theme years ago that it's probably too hard to explain, but the theme was about like staying active through the downtimes, like when things are like, when things are quiet, like that we still keep pushing forward, and being able to like pivot and change and all that. And We had a spring musical. It was supposed to be The Sound of Music that year. They had auditioned, cast, everybody. Like my editor-in-chief was supposed to be Maria. She was so excited. And then they lost the rights to do The Sound of Music because a local
Ah,
community theater picked it up. And so they had to pivot and change and do Beauty and the Beast instead. And my editor in chief went from being Maria to being the cabinet, the dresser, you know,
yeah.
and like talk about you went like to a completely different role. But Beauty and the Beast ended up being like one of the best shows that drama department ever did. It was a
Yeah.
blast. It was amazing. And it was a great coverage example of what our theme was saying, of how like even though things are hard, maybe things are down, like you still push through, you still power through, you still overcome those obstacles. You've got to be able to find those story angles, those coverage pieces that reinforce your theme message as well. It can't
That's
just be
right.
like little things here and there. You've got to find those good stories that really tell what your theme is saying.
Yeah, we I think you mentioned it in the other one, but theme stoppers, so
Yeah.
they're going to be show stoppers, but they're theme based.
Yes.
That's what we want to
Those are great. I
see.
think that was a
So
plant high school is I came up with like little theme stoppers. I was like, yes, like a place where you're like, bam, we're gonna punch you in the face with theme right here, for a second.
I'm not going to mess with you, punching
Theme
me in the
violence.
yeah. But if you really think about this whole rich concept, it makes your book come together in an exciting,
Hmm.
full way. It's
Yes.
more than just what am I going to cover here. You're
Mhm.
going to start with your theme words. You're going to start with your look, and it's going to really make it easier to put it all together.
And I think this is the fun part, right?
I
Like
do
this is
too.
you as like the journalist, like really figuring out how all of these pieces of the puzzle come together to send that one message. If you don't, then to me it's just like rote. It's like task work. When you lose the story, it just becomes like I have to write a story, I have to make a spread. When we get the bigger picture, to me that makes it more exciting and more fun.
I think maybe we need to get out a little bit more, Sabrina,
Mhm.
but we get so excited about all these things, but I think it's so much fun
I
to
do.
to go deep and try to really make all this stuff happen. And it can be so much easier and so much more
Yes.
fun if you bring all these parts together.
Yes.
So, are you ready? Are you ready to do the rapid recap?
Oh no, we've got one more.
Oh, we do.
Execute, yeah, one more.
Oh, the
Executable
design one.
design.
Oh,
Yes.
I got a little bit ahead of
And
myself
this is
there.
okay because this is one's pretty straightforward. Like, do you have a look now that you can carry throughout the book from cover to cover? And this goes to like sometimes we'll always tell you to start with your cover design. But sometimes things that work for a cover design are hard to translate to the inside pages of your book. And so all we're telling you here is make sure you've thought that out. Make sure you've tested things on a spread, on an opening, on a profile, in your people section to make sure not just does the story carry, but do the visuals really carry and can we get a lot of variety out of them? So we're not looking at the same thing over and over again.
And that's one of the reasons why I think we're seeing a lot of type based covers.
Mm-hmm.
It's because then it does make it really easy to carry it throughout the whole
Yeah,
book.
true. Good point.
Type and some level of graphics, photo
Mm-hmm.
treatments. You want those items on the cover to be rich that we can carry throughout the whole book. That's
Mm-hmm.
really where it all starts.
Yep. And get a lot of visual variety out of it. So we're seeing the same elements, but we're seeing them in different ways
That's right.
throughout the book, especially with you guys that have two, three, four, 500 page books. I mean, that's a lot of page real estate to not get bored over. So you've got to have a lot of visual variety in your look to keep the reader interested as they go throughout the book.
That's right. And that's really how your book becomes that theme rich and rich
Yep.
in every ways is having all those different elements to work with. And my idea was I want my audience to be excited about turning every page.
Yes.
What is coming next? What can we see and read about and experience about this one year?
Mhm. And in our training video, you'll see some great 2026 books that really do a great job of this. Like as we flip from slide to slide, you'll see like it all looks different, but it all looks cohesive. And that's really what you're looking at with an executable design in a good, rich theme.
Absolutely. Well, I jumped the gun a little bit earlier, but I think
But
now
now we can do it.
we're ready for our rapid recap. Okay,
Rapid
here we go.
recap.
Number 1, clear story.
Number 2, verbal and visual system working together.
It works everywhere, on every page. It's theme rich. It's amazing.
Yes, and then it's flexible for coverage, that story is getting told throughout the book.
And then last, that it has a design that's executable. We can use that visual variety, but theme is going to be there on every page.
Every single one.
And remember, our main idea here is theme should be seen and heard on every page. And that's really what the rich theme is all about.
That's right. And we talk about this a little bit in our training video, but evaluate your own books. Like, go back now that you're hopefully done with your 2026 book. If you're spring delivery, hopefully that book is done and it's out the door. And now you can go back and evaluate it while it's fresh in your mind and say, does it hit all of these points? Did we carry our theme throughout? Maybe we did really great with visuals. We kind of dropped the ball on the coverage, or we dropped the ball on the type or the story piece. Really evaluate where you are so you can set goals for 2027. And I think that's so powerful in coming up with how you can every year take that theme to another level, make it fuller.
We have a few things we need to talk about. We forgot to talk about what's coming up, Sabrina.
Oh my gosh, so much. You guys think it's the end of your school year, and we are just like, things are happening.
We're just getting started.
Excited. So much stuff. So first of all, advisors. Advisor Academy is coming up June 24th and 25th. It is virtual, which is the best possible delivery system for you here, because you not only get 18 hours of professional development credit, but you also can access all of the recordings of every session, even the ones you don't attend, all year long. That's huge. That means this is stuff you can play in your classroom. That means there's resources that you can constantly go back and access. That means if you want to be able to remember, like, hey, they taught this lesson and I want to remember how they taught it, you can go back and look at it anytime. And that's great for you to have that resource readily available all year long.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about how Advisor Academy is going to be different this year? We looked at your reviews from the past. We ask all the reps to talk to you and find out what you needed, what you want, and what have we come up with?
And we listened, and that really, we want this to be for you. This is for you guys. It all starts with you. We mean that. This is really it. This is something we want to be helpful and impactful for you guys in your classrooms. And so we have changed up the way that we're doing the sessions. Many of them, I would say most of them, are actually much shorter, but they are designed to be lessons that then you can go back and teach immediately in your classroom. So instead of it being a lot of bigger concepts and hour-long sessions, we've shortened them down and made them things that are executable lesson plans in your classroom, and you will have access to all of those lesson plans as well as the videos. So tons of content. And if you are a brand new advisor and you have never done this before in your life, and maybe that's why you're listening to this podcast, like, oh my God, I just figured out I'm going to be doing this and I probably need to figure something out here. Sign up for Advisor Academy, because we have a specific section just for you guys to go over an introduction to all things yearbooks so that you feel ready and confident to tackle your first book.
Absolutely. And then that's not all.
No.
What do we have coming up in the fall?
We've got, well, before we even get to the fall, even skip this, we've got tech training. So above and beyond our 2 days of virtual sessions, which there's so much content there. Talk about rich with content. Advisor Academy is rich with content, but we also have our tech training. So if you are needing to learn our online software, Yearbook 360, or if you're an InDesign user and you want to get into InDesign and Photoshop, that is going to be August 3rd, which means that if you want your kids to attend that training in the classroom with you, they can. So that way they can, they can learn the program as well, all at the same time. And if you pay and register before June 5th, you get a box full of very super cool Advisor Academy treats that you're going to want to have.
Did you just do that?
Jim and I will get one, and we're going to show them off to you guys. Okay, now for what I know you are excited about, Jim. What is our big thing coming up in the fall? Registration just opened.
Elite Weekend.
Oh my God, we're so excited. It's happening.
Where are they going to be this time?
They're going to be in Kansas City, in Fort Worth, Texas, in Orlando, Florida, and in Anaheim, California. And we want you there. We do them all in different parts of the country. So hopefully it's easy for you to access one location, if not another. Or maybe if you've got homecoming one weekend and you can't go to one location, then you can go to another location. But we would love to see you guys there. And registration is already open. So if you go to our website, you can already start registering, get that paperwork done, get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about it in the fall. So much easier to register now. And then obviously, like, you know, when you get back in the fall, you can just gather your kids and gather your theme and get ready to go. But if you've never been to an elite weekend, Jim, tell them a little bit about what an elite weekend is like.
There's nothing that will help you level up your book. And we really will take you where you're at. You know, you just have to be ready to have someone say, you might want to think about this and maybe do it this way. But it really will move your book forward in an amazing way. It's 2.5 days or 2 half days and 1 long day.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you it will change your book forever, because some of those things that you've been saying as an advisor year after year after year, they're going to hear them in a new way from these people who have won awards. If you're interested, everybody that's an instructor at an elite weekend has won one of the major awards. And so it's stretching for your staff. It may be a little bit of a stretch for you, but it's worth it. Let me tell you, our first one for Walsworth was 2011, and we've been growing them, and we've been turning out a lot of great yearbooks. And it really is one of those things where it's the perfect time of year to like draw the line in the sand and say, when we leave Elite Weekend, we're going to have our theme, we're going to have some layouts done, and we're going to be moving forward. So it's great.
It's the best.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss that. And so on top of this, if you're listening to this podcast, make sure you listen to our training video, Be Theme Rich, a Jimothy original, be theme rich. And with it, do our theme challenge. The Mike Taylor theme challenge will be there on the site as well. And you can check that out. There is no better way to try to come up with a good theme phrase than doing the Mike Taylor theme challenge. It is awesome. So check out both of those things. And then I also hope everyone out there has noticed that Jim and I matched our clothing today.
I thought the same thing.
Unplanned. The whole time, like orange. Like
we're feeling the orange.
Sharing a brain. It's summer, you know, like we're getting to summertime, springtime.
Isn't that a song? Come on, feel the orange.
Yes. That's what we did today. And we didn't even plan it. Sometimes we do plan it, but we did not plan it today. We're just sharing a brain. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Hey.
Check out the training video. Check out the theme challenge.
It's the end of season 3, and send us any suggestions what you'd like more of or less of in the future. We'll take it. Stop talking so much about yearbook. But no, we'd love to give you this kind of curriculum and training that you want. That's what we're here for.
That's right. So if you've got ideas, send them our way. If you want to know if your theme is theme rich, feel free to send that our way too. We'd love to tell you. And we're excited to see what happens next year. Thank you guys so much.
2027.
Thank you for tuning in to That Yearbook Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on your preferred platform. Happy yearbooking.